What's happening, FreeGang? We are coming to you live.
But not live.
From our home here in London, where today we are doing a video that so many of you have been asking for.
So many of you have been asking us to do a video on what we eat in a day when we're not vlogging. And so today we are showing you exactly that.
Whilst vlogging.
Now you guys know that we absolutely love doing fun food budget challenges. But at least once a week, we try to go all in on super healthy eating.
And today is one of those days.
So we're sharing a full day of plant-based meals, including some recipes that you guys have been asking for. And maybe a few treats too.
Ooh.
Let's get straight into it, and Bob will show you the breakfast prep that he does early most mornings.
So in preparation for breakfast, I have these 2 pans out for me and Katie. For my porridge, put a cup of oats in a pan and 2 cups of water. And as we don't have any fresh berries, having some frozen berries, so I pour them into here as well. And as Katie has frozen berries, I put them in the other pan, so that will make it easier when it comes to actually making the breakfast.
Okay, so the reason Bob normally preps is because we use a lot of frozen berries, because frozen berries tend to be a lot cheaper. I think some people say that fresh berries are healthier, but you know, you just get what you can to be healthy. We sometimes do have fresh berries, but the reason Bob does it early is so by the time we come to having it, the oats have had a really good soak in water and the berries have defrosted. Bob normally has porridge with oats, and I don't tend to have oats as much. And I will just have berries and put lots and lots of toppings on them. So I'm just gonna let this cook until it starts bubbling, and then I'm gonna turn the hob off. And hopefully by the time this is done, my berries will have completely defrosted. It is normally hours between Bob doing the prep and us having breakfast. As you guys know, I've been switching all of my plastic stuff in the kitchen for stainless steel or ceramic things, but I'm not sure about silicone yet. Does anybody know about silicone? I can't seem to find whether it's healthy or not, so I've just been using it anyway in the meantime. This spice and herb rack, if you can call it that, gets used so much, especially when we're trying to eat healthy, because sometimes I try and get as many different things into what we're eating before it starts to taste weird. For example, I know this sounds weird, but I will add half a teaspoon of turmeric into the porridge because it is highly anti-inflammatory. It's got loads of health benefits. You don't notice the taste if you use a little bit of it.
And I can vouch for this, guys, because Katie has done it for me so many times and I've never even known.
No, you just reap the health benefits, don't you? And then I'm just getting my bowl ready. I'm not going to put it on there. I just put all my powders in the bowl ready for when my berries are going to go in. And of course, if you're going to have turmeric, you have to have a bit of black pepper because it activates the curcumin in there. So just put the tiniest bit so that Bob doesn't notice it and I won't notice it either. That might seem a bit weird, but remember, this is a super healthy day. Next, I'm going to put in some cinnamon, and that is more of the sort of thing you would put in porridge, and everybody loves it. They love the taste of it, they love the smell of it. I've got some organic raw cacao nibs, really high in magnesium. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals to have in our body because you need magnesium for nearly every function in the body, and since I've been upping my magnesium a bit, I sleep better, I feel better, and I don't get achy legs at night, which I used to get. But remember, we have only read this stuff on the internet and we're learning from there, so you know, you have to do your own research as well. This is a good one, lion's mane. It's a mushroom. This is in powder form, but it gives you really good brain clarity and things like that. Of course, again, you don't even taste it in this. Amla powder. A friend of ours, Paul Curtin, said that he's a qualified nutritionist, and he said, if I'm going to listen to anything that he ever says to me, listen to this. He said, take Amla every day because it's one of the highest sources of vitamin C on the planet. And it's really good for hair growth too. But about half a teaspoon of that in there. It doesn't taste nice, but like I said, if you put it in things like put it in a smoothie or something like that, you won't taste it. This is a really nice one called nutmeg, and it actually does make everything taste nice. Only a tiny bit though, because otherwise it can be really overpowering. We've got some organic pumpkin seeds. I think we got these from Costco, didn't we? We'll sprinkle a few of them in. A lot of people say that you have to soak seeds and nuts overnight, but I haven't really got into doing that yet, but I have to look more into it. And we've got some sunflower seeds, We don't normally put any sweetener on, do we? But if we feel we do want sweetener, we've got maple syrup, and sometimes we put some date sugar, which is basically just ground dates, and it's really delicious. Okay, I'm just mixing that round, and I'm just gonna continue to let that cook for a bit. These kind of breakfasts we've been having for years, and over time we just added more and more things in and just built on it over time. But you can do it how you want. Porridge especially is so versatile. You can put whatever you want in there. I mean, oats are pretty decent on their own. They've got so many good stuff in them, so even like just oats on their own is good.
It's all done. As you can see, guys, I have quite a large amount because I find that oats in particular, this fills me up this meal for a very long time.
This is the yogurt which I got from Lidl, which is really nice. It's just plain yogurt. I just put a few spoonfuls of that on top. But if I haven't got yogurt, a lot of the time I just use milk, and I really like putting just like plant milk on top. So yeah, we just put various different toppings on, which-ever we want really.
It varies day to day,
yeah,
doesn't
whatever
it?
we have, we just pop on top. Flax seeds are good because they're high in omega-3s and really good for your brain. This protein powder is a collagen builder one. Darren and Georgie gave us a pack of it when they went to Spain. You know, Darren and Georgie from Family Fizz. I loved it so much, I just kept buying it. It's just got such a nice flavour, and apparently it's one of the best protein powders you can get. Just sprinkle some of that on there. Of course, we always put 2 Brazil nuts on top of our breakfast because you need them for selenium and zinc. These are barberries, and I just learned that they have something called berberine in them. They say it's like nature's Ozempic, which you have to do your own research on that, guys, because I haven't really researched it enough, but that's what I heard someone say. Also, we have here some hemp seeds. Do you know what's really annoying is that I need another shelf up there, because I've got so many of things like this that I want to put in jars, but I can either put one down here, which I think might be just too much, or I can put one up there which I won't be able to reach and I need a stall for. Oh, and fun fact, guys, every person that comes to our house is jealous of this. Every single person is just amazed by it and wants one. And it wasn't very expensive to do. It's like these I got from IKEA, they're picture shelves, and then these are just reused jars. So this is good fats for the brain, omega-3s. Just put a few walnuts. Walnuts have lots of good health benefits as well. Oh, I love these so much. These are called mulberries, and they are absolutely delicious. And they're high in iron as well, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, so tasty. These are our breakfasts, guys. Noticeably different amounts. I eat a lot.
You will see Jojo later on. Yeah, he's not here at the moment. I think Jojo wants to do his own, what he eats in a day, because this boy eats a lot.
He's a grand lad.
So yeah, that would be a fun thing for him to do. As well, we can compare it to the one he did 10 years ago when he was 3. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Jojo did a video like this 10 years ago, and it was very cute. And even then, people couldn't believe how much he ate. Why does this taste even better than usual?
I know, but we always find this is a perfect start to the day. Porridge doesn't have to have this much. Some people just do oats and berries, or oats and maple syrup, maybe a bit of seeds on there. Do as much as you want.
We just tried to sneak in extra things for the health benefits, really.
Now guys, as we're showing you super healthy eating in this video, we thought we'd also share with you one of the things we're doing to stay super fit too. It's this awesome spinning bike, the G1M Plus, by a brand called YesSoul, which is an awesome name. And using this has been part of our daily routine. Sometimes after breakfast, sometimes after dinner, we'll jump on, go through a workout, a routine, and we have felt great ever since we've been using it as part of our routine. You will notice it has this huge screen with it, and we are able to easily connect our phone to the screen and screencast, so we're able to stream videos or listen to music while we do a workout. Or using the YesSoul app, which is free as well, we can be guided through a specific workout on the bike. Also, we have the ability to rotate the screen 360 degrees as well, which means that we can open it up to the whole room, and all 3 of us can participate as a family to do many of the other workouts that don't involve the bike, such as yoga, strength work, and much more. So it's like having our own fun workout studio in our home, which has been great, especially while it's still cold here in the UK, so we can easily stay fit and healthy, and even enjoy watching some of our favourite videos while we work out too. And Yes Soul offer their awesome exercise equipment at a much lower price, so it is well worth the investment in your health. Especially as with our code FF100, you can get an amazing $100 off your purchase from the Yes Soul store. So head to the link in our description to grab the offer now, and you too can enjoy fun cardio with Yes Soul.
Okay, so for lunch, I'm going to do something. If I'm very disciplined, then I do this every week, and that is make this lovely sourdough focaccia. I've actually got 2 of them. So these have already been proofed. For those of you who want to see, I will show you what I did to get the dough like this. So first I'm going to add in about 400 millilitres of water. And when I'm making this bread, I always do 2 batches because I just feel it's not that much harder to do 2 than it is to do 1. The water's slightly warm because it helps with the proofing process. Right, I'm going to grab some of this lovely olive oil, which I got from Costco. I just put a small amount of that in, probably a few tablespoons. So basically this sourdough starter, it's the same as using yeast, but a bit healthier and a bit simpler as well. It's literally made of water and wheat. That's it. All you do with the sourdough starter is you just feed it every day, and it doubles in size, and then once it's doubled, it gets all these bubbles in there, and that's when you can use it for making bread. And I'm going to add in 100 grams of the starter. If it floats, that's how you know it's ready to be used as well. Then I just whisk it all together. Then I use 500 grams of flour. I normally do a mixture of different flours, so today I'm going to use just strong organic white flour, and then I'll put in about 50 grams of this einkorn flour, which is an ancient grain, so it'll be 500 grams altogether. Okay, and then I just mix it until it makes a shaggy dough. So now it looks like a shaggy dough, and then I just cover them for about 30 minutes. Now it's been about 30 minutes, I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of salt and about 25 grams of water. And then I do some nice stretches. Then I repeat this process about 3 more times every 30 minutes. And I know it sounds like a lot, but you kind of get used to it. You just put a timer on and you do other things in between. It's actually quite easy. So this has had 3 stretches, and now look at it. Look how stretchy it is. And I'm going to place it in there. Oh, I covered it in olive oil as well. Now I'm going to let this proof overnight in the fridge. So these have been in the fridge overnight, and I'm just going to preheat the oven. And what I normally do with the focaccia is I just see what things I have in the fridge basically, or anywhere. So I've got half a jar of these lovely olives that we got from M&S reduced. There's actually some good pieces of garlic in there. Maybe I could put those in.
Would that make it garlic bread then?
No. I've got some capers. I've got some of these which we got from Costco. There's semi-dried tomatoes, and they are so yummy. I found 1 onion in the fridge, and I've got some cheese as well. So I'm just going to chop all these bits up, and then I'll show you how I put them into the dough. However, I will need Bob to dice the onion. Can you do half of it, and we'll save half for later for something else?
Okay.
We've got everything chopped up now, and now I'm just going to drizzle this with some olive oil and gradually put everything on top of the bread. This focaccia is so easy to make, so if you're thinking about starting making your own sourdough bread, then start off with focaccia, I would say. And you don't have to even add these toppings. It is delicious just plain. Yeah, but it's really cool that the dough itself is literally 2 ingredients. It's flour and water and a bit of salt. That's it.
Out of all of the recipes and foods that we'll share with you today, guys, this would be my personal favourite recommendation because I think it's the easiest to do, but it's so filling and so tasty and healthy.
Also, I think you can do this gluten-free as well with different types of flour. Just going to add a bit of cheese just to make this extra tasty. You really don't have to add cheese though. The cheese kind of makes it a bit pizza-y. Okay, I'm just putting some olive oil on the tips of my fingers. You're going to see why now. This is the really fun part, okay?
You're just pushing ingredients into the middle.
Yeah.
So it's just not on top only.
And then look, the bubbles come out. Right, and the other one. This is so satisfying. Is this satisfying to watch, guys? Because it's kind of satisfying to do. Oh no, I forgot to put salt on. I always put smoky salt on it as well. Oh, this is our favourite salt, guys. It's smoky and it's delicious.
Cornish sea salt.
Yeah, we actually added this to our Amazon store, which you'll find in the description, just because so many of you ask about this and lots of other things as well. Right, I'm just going to pop these in for 25 minutes and then I turn them round and pop them in for another 25 minutes.
So that's 50 in total.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what's going on in here.
It's smelling very good in here, guys.
Wow, look at that bubble at the top. Oh, I should have tucked those tomatoes in a bit more. This happened last time. Yeah, any tomatoes that are on the surface kind of burn a little bit, but you could just pick those ones off.
This one's a bit more balanced, isn't it? Because it's lower down.
Yeah.
Those look amazing, Katie. It looks so nice.
It's so moist as well, in a good way. Check out the bubbles inside as well.
Yeah, you can see on this one, guys, how it's got in the middle there. Katie makes a lot of amazing things, but I think this is one of the favourite things you've ever made.
Yeah, we actually use these as like burger buns as well. Do you remember that the burger night we had and we used this as buns?
Yeah.
That was so good. But you can have anything on them as well. We're not actually going to put anything on there.
No,
you don't always need to, but sometimes a bit of olive oil or cream cheese or the pesto. The pesto though that you guys have been asking about, we'll just have with dinner.
Yeah, it is coming up. You will find out about it.
Jojo's back now, so Jojo, would you like some bread?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a focaccia. I've put all kinds of things on top of it. So
Best time to taste it when it's just been baked. Straight out the oven.
how would you rate this one, Jojo?
It's a good one. I don't know, because you made so many, it's kind of hard to rate it.
These normally last, depending on how quickly we eat them, but they can last for days, can't they?
Yeah, there's loads of tutorials online of how to make sourdough starter, or you can just buy it from companies that just sell it. Yeah, it's such a really fun thing to get into. Yeah, this is how our ancestors used to make bread with sourdough starter. Okay guys, I'm going to start prepping for dinner and I am making my famous chickpea curry. Quite a few of you have requested that I make this. We make this usually once a week and sometimes we have some left over for the next day, and any of our friends who come for dinner always ask me to make it as well. People absolutely love it. Right, first I'm going to put the chickpeas in the Instant Pot. Instant Pots are amazing because years ago when I used to make dried chickpeas, it took nearly a whole day to soak them and then hours on end to cook them. Do you remember, Bob? But with this, you don't need to soak them and it takes a lot less time to cook them. So I usually do about one of these cups. I don't know why, it's not like a normal measuring cup size, but it seems to be enough, and then we have some for the next day as well. And then I just like cover them with water with about an inch over the top. I'm gonna pressure cook for 55 minutes and that does all the cooking and the soaking, and you just leave it. Right, I have a cup of tea and chocolate every single day. Even on my most healthiest ever days, I still eat chocolate every day. It's my one guilty pleasure that I have, but I figured out a hack over the years that curbs the craving of eating lots and lots of chocolate, and I'll show you that in a minute. If you're like me and you love chocolate, but sometimes you end up eating too much and you don't know when to stop, I've had that before. What I do is when I sit down to have my cup of tea every day, or sometimes I've done this a few times in the day, I get a really good quality dark chocolate. Okay, it has to be dark chocolate because with dark chocolate, it's a bit more potent and you only need a smaller amount. Bob laughs at me. He's behind the camera right now laughing his head off because I've done this for years. He just caught me doing it years ago and just laughed his head off. So I basically just take a little bite of chocolate. See what I mean? He's laughing. And then a sip of the tea. 2 blocks of chocolate. And you make it last the duration of drinking the tea. And you just take a little bite. But it's such a good tip. Also, don't bring the bar of chocolate in with you. Take the 2 blocks, break it off the chocolate, and bring that into the room. By the time you've eaten this and had the cup of tea, or coffee, if you like coffee, the craving just goes. I don't ever feel like I need any more, but it has to be dark chocolate. I found if I do it with any other chocolate, any kind of milk chocolate or anything, I end up wanting more, but dark chocolate just, it tends to work best. Right, okay, the chickpeas have done all the soaking and cooking, and what I did is I just discarded the water. When you cook chickpeas, it creates a liquid called aquafaba. Some people leave it in there, but I just discard it because it gives some people wind. So this meal I created off the back of some information which I found out. I watched a whole documentary on the gut microbiome and how it is important for so many other things in our body. And they said that of all the research they've done, it's good to have 30 different plants a week in your diet. So that's not in just one day, that's over the week. That could be anything. It could be herbs, spices, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, anything really. So I took that information and said, I want to make a meal that has over 30 ingredients in it. So I'm going to try and do this quickly and show you all of the ingredients that I put into this meal. I'm not sure exactly how many it is, but maybe you guys can add it up and then put it in the comments how many it exactly is, but I think it's between 30 and 40. For a start, what I normally do as well is to say we've done a cooking challenge or a shopping challenge or something like that. I just see what we have left over and I just add it in as well as all the other stuff. And we've got sweet potato, red pepper, and I have half an onion from earlier. Also, I have some frozen mixed veg, which I can also add in later. Okay, here we go. Fenugreek is really good if you're breastfeeding. It helps you produce more breast milk, but the list is endless of all the health benefits from fenugreek. But hopefully my lovely editor will be putting up on screen all of the health benefits of everything so that I don't have to tell you, because I don't think I can remember everything. I put in about a teaspoon of most things. So paprika, it adds lots of good flavour and it has lots of good health benefits as well. Most of these herbs and spices I buy in bulk, and it enables me to save money and get organic ones, because if you buy in bulk you can do it a lot cheaper. These are actually some herbs that Georgie gave me when they moved to Spain. We got some cardamom pods, which are very flavourful and delicious, and some cloves. These are one of those ones with endless health benefits as well. I just put a few in there. Bay leaves. Yeah, I was going to use the cinnamon, but I do have these cinnamon sticks. What I normally do is just break off a piece and put it in. Obviously you don't eat that. This is veggie stock. I actually got this from Rogers and I got tons of it, and it's an organic brand and it's one of the best stocks you can buy. But I put a couple of heaped tablespoons of that in there. Celery salt. I'm not a huge fan of celery, but I do put a bit of salt in. Ashwagandha I do put in there. I don't put ashwagandha in there when I'm making it for the children, because this is quite medicinal and I don't know how children would react to ashwagandha. I know for adults it's really good for anti-anxiety and sleep and things like that. That's why I take it, because it's so good. You know, sometimes I just put it in my smoothies as well. I always put a bit of oregano in there. I know this is more of an Italian herb, but it's just adding another ingredient in there, and to be honest, you don't taste it in there. Celtic sea salt. I've already got the stock in there and that does have a bit of salt, so I don't add too much. Maybe about a teaspoon of salt. Black cumin. Someone told me the other day that this is a really good aid for anyone trying to lose a bit of excess weight. The lady was saying that she sprinkles it on her food every day. But I'm not sure. Like I said, do your own research with these things. Good.
Surely onion powder's getting a feature.
Good old onion powder. It just has the most amazing flavour, even though I am adding in fresh onion as well. Cayenne pepper. This is a great one. Obviously, if you don't want it spicy, don't add too much, but I put this in my lemon juice sometimes because it's really good for like cleansing the blood and things like that. Curry powder.
In a curry?
I know. I mean, this has probably got all of the ingredients in that I'm using anyway, but I don't know. There might be some other ingredient.
You don't want to take the risk.
No. Right, a bit of garlic powder. Sometimes I put fresh garlic in as well. This is a new one that I found out about. I was listening to a podcast and the guy said, just put caraway seeds on your meal. He was saying all about the health benefits, but I'd never heard of them before. They've got a really nice smell to them.
I can smell them from here even.
Coriander seeds, we all know how good and healthy coriander is. I love the taste of these seeds as well. When you get one in a spoonful of curry, it's so good. Turmeric, yeah, we mentioned this earlier.
very popular in curries.
Cumin.
Definite.
Oh, look, do you know what? We went to the Asian supermarket the other day and I said, they've got bulk herbs and spices here. And I said, do you remember me saying I don't need cumin?
You were obviously wrong.
I was wrong. I do need cumin.
But a bit more of this though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite central to the taste
I
and
know.
flavour.
Good amount in there. Ginger. Again, sometimes I use fresh ginger, but I'm just trying to be quick today, so I'll use this powdered one. Yeah, I've got some ground bay leaves. Even though I put a whole bay leaf in there, ground bay leaves mean you actually end up ingesting some of the bay leaves rather than it just being a flavour thing, you know? Okay, this is a new one I have found out about. You'll have to do research on this one. It's got two names, ajwain seed and lovage.
Lovage, that's such a cool name.
That might not be how to pronounce it, I'm not sure. But I don't put a huge amount in, I just put a little bit. And of course pepper to help with the curcumin. Well, it's just a really nice taste anyway. Nutmeg, just a little bit, because why not?
It always goes well together with cinnamon, doesn't it? Nutmeg.
It does, and it goes
Like a
really well with custard as well. I can hear there's probably people screaming at the screen going, why are you putting that in there? But when you taste it,
Trust her, FreeGang.
trust me, like...
She's done this many times and my goodness, it's everyone's favourite meal.
This is garam masala, which is I think a collection of different herbs, but I'm not sure exactly which ones it is. Oh, I love the smell of it, it's gorgeous. Sunflower seeds, I'll put some of those in.
Do you normally?
Yes. Don't you notice them? I always put them in there. Cumin seeds.
So there's cumin powder, there's black cumin, and then there's these cumin seeds as well.
These are lovely.
Ah, star anise.
I love this, and what I used to do is just put the whole thing in there, and then whoever ended up with it on their plate, they choose to take it out. But what I do now is just break off these little petals. When I get one of these little petals, it's just yummy, and I like one, but the whole star is too much. Right, I wouldn't put lion's mane in this because it's more of a morning thing. It would wake you up a little bit. Allspice. Oh, these have another name, but I can't remember what it is, but they are so yummy.
I love that we've got all of these different spices, but still this is all spice.
Yeah. These ones are called Seeds of Paradise. These have lots of health benefits, but I can't remember any of them right now.
Luckily, your editor might.
Ah, fennel seeds. I know fennel tea is really good for ridding the body of heavy metals, so it must be good to put some in here as well. I do realise I've stopped using the spoon and just sprinkling things at this point.
So much for Katie being close to an actual measured out recipe.
I don't think anyone's going to copy this recipe in a million years anyway.
They might, the ingredients, or pick some of their favourites.
Yeah, well, maybe when you find out all the health benefits, you might. And
or experiment, because that's how you got to this point.
exactly.
You added more and more.
And I only do this once a week. This is not like a thing I'm doing every night, like using every ingredient every single night. But once a week we do this, and we do it for guests as well because they absolutely love. Like people, even Jamie,
she loves it now.
Begs me to make this now. Right, so I'm just going to prepare these, chop them all up, and put them in the pot as well. Okay, we'll put all these lovely veggies in there. And then this one, this has how many different veggies in it? Green beans, carrots, peas and sweet corn. That's 4 more ingredients. Right, now I'm going to add in boiling water because I discarded the water that they'd soaked in.
You put boiled water in just to make it cook quicker, is that right?
Yeah.
And you believe as well, you used to make curries in just the pot on the hob.
I know, but this is so much easier because you can just put it on and leave it. You don't even have to do anything. Yeah, I mentioned this the other day when we went to the Asian supermarket that I've started using it. It's just like a lot cheaper way to use coconut. This is just pure creamed coconut. It's really hard to get them out of this plastic. So the way I do it is just to cut the packet and then I just take 1/2 out and then put it in there and it just all melts in the middle. But that will make the curry really nice and creamy. Now that's going back in there. Then cook this for 5 minutes. It's not going to be only 5 minutes because it's got to pressurise first. I have got another instant pot up there which I sometimes do rice in if I don't have a lot of time. But my preferred way to do rice is just on the hob because it cleans the rice and gets any arsenic out. They say that that is the best way. I know it sounds weird, but there is a certain amount of arsenic in rice. I don't know if you know that. But yeah, it cleans it and it gets all the starch off of it and it gets all the arsenic and stuff like that out. If you don't do it like this, you can give the rice a really, really good rinse before you put it in the Instant Pot. Right, the water's boiling, so I'm just going to put the rice in there. Keep that moving. because I find if you put it in and don't keep it moving, it will like stick to the bottom.
For some reason, in the UK, as far as I know, rice has been one of those things that people found really hard to cook on a hob. But the whole time I've known you, you've shown me how to do it, and me and you have always done it fine and right.
Well, I understand why people struggle with it though.
Because it requires this.
Yeah, if you have any tips on cooking rice in a pot like this, then put it in the comments. But if you really struggle, then just get an Instant Pot, because then you just put the water in, put the rice in and leave it and it's done. It's an Instant Pot on our Amazon shop.
It is.
Right, there you go guys, if you want one. Okay, loads of you guys have been asking about my pesto, which we put on everything. It's not like you think it was just like something that you put on Italian food or like pasta, but no, we have a spoonful of it on everything. I try and make it once a week, and how it started was a really funny story. We were at the farmer's market and I was queuing up to buy some things. The lady in front of me said to the guy serving her, "Oh, can you remove the tops off my carrots, please?" And I thought, I wonder why she's asking that. Because at the farmer's market you buy the carrots with all these green tops on them. And yeah, he said sure, and he just twisted it and threw them in a crate. My mind started going crazy. I'm always looking for money saving tips and tricks, and I've just seen them just basically discard these carrot tops. I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure there's loads of health benefits in carrot greens, and I'm sure you can make pesto. So I said to the guy, "Can I have those?" And he said, "Sure, have them." He was so happy that somebody knew that you could make pesto out of them, and all of the health benefits as well. So he let me have them for free. And then the guy stood next to him and started saying, it's the same with radish leaves as well. They get rid of heavy metals out of the body. They do all this great stuff. And then I got some radishes and kept the leaves off them as well. And then I just started to make this amazing pesto, which everybody loves. And I make enough for the week, and then we have a bit on most days on our food, don't we? So the best thing that I could do was make it when it was fresh. So I did that yesterday. So check out how I made it. So here we have all of the greens that I'm going to use for the pesto. I really like to use basil, but they didn't have any basil at the farmer's market. So I'm just using a bunch of carrot greens, a bunch of radish greens, and a bunch of coriander. I normally cut these end pieces off, and then I start by washing all of the greens. The reason I give these a really good wash is because some of them are root vegetables, so sometimes they can have a bit of soil and things like that on them. Right, now these are all cleaned. I put all the greens in my food processor. Then I add in about a cup of cashews, teaspoon of Celtic sea salt. Apparently it's one of the best salts you can buy. Then the juice of 1 lemon, loads of vitamin C in lemon juice. A couple of tablespoons of good old nutritional yeast, good for the B12. Also 3 cloves of raw garlic, half a raw onion. Now I'm going to add about half a cup of olive oil. If you guys want to follow this recipe, you can experiment with how much of everything you want to put in. I normally just do the olive oil by eye, because I sometimes add a little bit more at the end depending on if it needs it or not. All you have to do now is blend it up. Right, here is the lovely pesto. I will put the recipe into our comments section. It might not be the pinned comment, but it might be the next one down. Okay, so if you want to make it. Okay, we're also going to make a nice simple salad with whatever we can find left over. So we've got some tomatoes and some gem lettuces.
And we've got some greens from the farmer's market still as well.
Yeah, some other greens. Okay, the rice is done. It's all nice and fluffy. And the salad is done. And the curry's got 3 more minutes. I'm going to show you the most complex dip you've ever seen in your entire life. Mint, sauce and yogurt. This dip just goes so well with a curry.
Is everyone taking notes of how to do this?
Yeah. Guys, are you keeping track of the ingredients in this meal? Anybody who guesses correctly, I think the mint and yogurt should be just 2 ingredients though.
Yeah.
You can't list all the ingredients in here like vinegar and things like that.
So you're talking about a guess for the total amount of ingredients in this entire meal.
Yeah.
From that to the pesto, the salad, rice and curry.
If you've only guessed the curry though, that's fine. You might have figured it out just like adding them up yourself, but just have a guess anyway. I just want to show you guys before I go any further with this meal. This is the bread from earlier. This is one of the loaves that I did. This is the little piece that I chopped off to give to my neighbour, because sometimes she shares her bread with me, so I cut some off for her. And this is how much is left of the other loaf. This is one of the reasons I make 2 loaves, because they are gone in about 2 days every time. I'm gonna blame Jojo. Most of this was down to you, Jojo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I just released the pressure and it's all done. But one thing I do, I'm going to add one more ingredient to this, and I'm going to add in some of these chopped tomatoes, which we got from Costco. Really nice tomatoes as well. It just adds a bit of sweetness to the curry. If you put the tomatoes in beforehand, sometimes it can burn. So that's why I always add them in afterwards. Jojo, there we go.
I'm actually interested to try this curry. Firstly, because we've got the yogurt mint sauce on there, but also we've got lots of different veggies in there.
Yeah, I've not made it. It's always slightly different, isn't it? Is it nice?
So good.
Guys, would you make something like this, or would you make something similar? Let us know in the comments, or give us your tips. Anything. I love hearing your tips. I learned so much from you guys.
We hope you have enjoyed seeing the food that we eat today, guys. If you have, you're going to love the next video up in the corner as well. So go and watch that one next. Before you do, though, make sure you always stay free
and just keep rising.